Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to. And welcome to another rendition of Old vs. New. Seeing how we're so close to Thanksgiving, I thought it'd be great if we talked about a pair of Thanksgiving movies. You know, because it's kind of religious. I think Moses carved a turkey once. Forget it. It's the Ten Commandments. In 1956, one of the greatest directors of all time, Cecil B. DeMille, made one of the most famous films of all time, The Ten Commandments. Actually, it was a remake of his already popular epic from the 1920s. I guess he just wanted to up the epicness. And I know I should probably do an old versus new on these two films, but seeing how they both had the same director, I think it's kind of cheating. The 56 version is of course considered a classic, and no major studio would dare try to top it. That is until DreamWorks came along and tried to tell the same story as an animated musical. Interesting choice. When you hear Bible mixed with musical and Disney-style animation, you automatically think disaster. But The Prince of Egypt was actually a decent remake. It wasn't telling the exact same story, it had different angles, a different scale, and a different spin on the main characters. And in my opinion, is a very underrated animated film. But still, which one holds up the best, the original classic or the anime reimagining? Well, let's dive right into the land of milk and honey. That would be nice, but I'm talking about the movies. This is Old vs. New, 10 Commandments versus The Prince of Egypt. It's hard to find someone to play one of the most holy people in all of the Bible, so we'll just settle for the human from Planet of the Apes and Iceman from Top Gun. Solid. Let's take a look at Best Moses. Like many of the elements in this comparison, these two performances couldn't be any more different. Charlton Heston's Moses is very much like a prodigy, even before he speaks with God.
Let your own image proclaim my loyalty for 1,000 years.
Who would take a throne by force that he has earned by deeds?
Where Val Kilmer's Moses is seen much more as the everyman, the person who fell into his leadership rather than seeking it out.
I was the Prince of Egypt, the son of the man who slaughtered their children. You've chosen the wrong messenger. How can I even speak to these people?
Both do very well and convey exactly what they need to convey. So really it just depends on which Moses you like better, the everyman or the Superman. For me personally, I enjoy Heston's performance a little more. The reason being that he has an unbelievable amount of confidence. When you see Heston as the Prince of Egypt, you immediately want to be like him. Strong and powerful, but also kind and wise.
I warn you, Moses, that the temple grain belongs to the gods.
What the gods can digest will not sour in the belly of a slave.
Everything he says has such weight to it. He was destined for greatness even before he found his true calling. If you were told this guy was going to be your leader, you'd follow him in a heartbeat. Okay, you'd recommend a good hair salon first, but you would follow him.
The city is built of brick, Pharaoh. The strong make many, the starving make few. The dead make none.
The animated Moses starts out more like a rambunctious young man, like a college student who crashed his dad's car.
Father, the fault is mine. I goaded Ramesses on, and so I am responsible.
This isn't bad though, as it shows by the end just how far he's come in leadership. I guess in a way you could argue that this makes him more human. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, as Moses was human. Or was he? But Heston I found was just more interesting because you feel like there was a greatness in him from the start. And when you see it realized, it's all the more influential. Though granted, his speech can at times be a little stilted and, dare I say it, preachy.
Blessed art thou, O Lord our God. We bring you the word of God, and you shall know that God is God.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Biatch.
Both do very well, but I think Heston gets the point in this round. Even though Kilmer's is more human and sympathetic, Heston sort of represents the will and strength that all good people can possess. And that's pretty hard to pull off. Plus, he's the only Moses where you actually know his last name.
Oh, Moses, 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 Moses.
Moses, Moses.
Moses, Moses.
Yeah, I bet you didn't know Moses' last name was also Moses, did you? It's just like that other movie.
Mario, and Luigi Mario.
Don't start with me! Point goes to 10 Commandments.
I didn't mean to cause you more pain.
But what about the villain? Ramesses is one of the greatest villains of all time. But did you know that him and Moses were brothers? Oh, you didn't know that. Sorry, I didn't know. This is the best Ramesses. Again, these two are very different performances. Yul Brynner plays Ramesses as very cold-hearted, caring nothing for his brother or anyone else except his legacy.
And here is your kingdom, with the scorpion, the cobra, and the lizard for subjects. Free them if you will. Leave the Hebrews to me.
What an asshole!
While Ray Fiennes plays Ramesses as a product of his environment. A tortured soul who still loves his brother, but is also under the psychological grip of his overbearing father.
One weak link can break the chain of a mighty dynasty.
I will not be the weak link.
Because of this, the Ramesses in Prince of Egypt comes across as more tragic. You know why he's making his decisions and how much it destroys him inside to declare war on his own brother.
Why can't things be the way they were before?
Look at this scene, for example. This is one of the best bits of animation I've ever seen. It's just as Moses tells Ramesses that he hasn't returned to be his brother, but rather he's returned to be his enemy. The whole gamut of emotions is ran here.
I can no longer hide in the desert while they suffer. At your hands.
Sadness, anger, regret, frustration, and vengeance. All in just 40 seconds. That's pretty impressive. The Ramesses in 10 Commandments is good too, but in a different way. He's likable because of how despicable he is. He's cunning, he's manipulative, and he doesn't care who knows it. Just look at how he talks to the woman who will one day be his wife.
I could never love you.
Does that matter? You will be my wife. You will come to me whenever I call you. And I will enjoy that very much.
What a dickhole. There's great passion and rage that's brought out of this performance, but still, I gotta say Ray Fiennes' version is better. He's simply more complex and sympathetic, but he can also be just as menacing as well.
There shall be a great cry in all of Egypt, such as never has been or ever will be again.
It's a juicy performance right out of Shakespeare, and he's portrayed just perfectly. They pull you into the drama by pulling us into his drama, having to choose between family and legacy. Just about everything you could possibly want in a character is in this performance, and I think that's more than point-worthy. Point goes to Prince of Egypt.
Does that matter?